Good evening, participants. My name is Mr. Ndubisi. I'm the project coordinator for Aiye Life projects. You're all welcome to this inaugural launch of Aiye Life projects. Initially, the plan was for this launch to take place in a face-to-face environment. As you know, the COVID-19 pandemic has made that impossible. Hence, we have to resort to Zoom or online launch of this project. The important thing is that we're launching this project and we're committed to setting off to address the needs that this project wants to address. The important thing, first of all, let me say that present here today, we've got some important people who are participating from the community in this inaugural launch. I can see Mr. Morgan Mohati, I can see Dr. Joe, the founder is here, Pauline has signed in, we've got Andrew, and we're expecting more of the people invited to participate in this launch to sign in as soon as they get their gadgets and devices ready. Without taking much of your time, Aiye project is a project of passion, like you all know, is a project that is born out of personal experience, personal passion to address the needs of people with complex conditions within the Black and Asian minority ethnic communities in Birmingham. There's a couple of stigma which you know that is associated with mental health issues, especially dementia in particular, which a lot of people tend not to understand how it's all work and how people get affected by it. The founder has got a massive background, years of background and experience in nursing people with dementia and other complex needs. And he wants to bring that handy and to also make sure that other people within the community benefit from it. Aiye project is also designed to help to improve the welfare of people within this community, make life easy for their carers, and assist them where they need assistance. This includes providing them with education, helping them to develop their skills, helping them to understand the conditions in a more better way based on evidence-based research, and most of all to assist them by providing a befriending service, which helps to combat loneliness within the community and for people that are affected. So these are part of the reason why this project came on board. Without taking much of your time, ladies and gentlemen, I want to invite the founder, Mr. Matthew Olowokere, who has had a personal experience of a family member who suffered from this particular disease. And he's also had that background of nursing people with complex conditions, which includes dementia, for over a period of 15 to 17 years, to tell us the story behind the project and why he chose to reach out to other family members within the Black and Asian ethnic minority group who is suffering from the same problem. Mr. Matthew Olowokere, welcome on board. You're muted, please. Your microphone is muted. Can you unmute your microphone?
Andrew.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ndibusi. It's cheerful. I really appreciate everybody that is here this afternoon. This program will not be complete without mentioning particularly the brain behind the success of the project in itself. I want to really appreciate the Dream Blazer organizations. I want to particularly appreciate Morgan Mohati, Dr. Joe Desenga, and I also want to mention Mr. and Mrs. Baby. These people, they have been there I've been going about, saying things, and they have been giving me, unbelievable support in achieving this, my objective. Thank you very much, every one of you. And I wouldn't want to forget my wife as well, who has been very cooperative, going up and down, seeking for help everywhere, coming in late, because of the passion I have about complex conditions, particularly that of dementia, because I was there. I was there. My father happened to had a thing like this, which I did not understand, and this is what made me to jump into saying, oh, I need to go into the deep and check out why my father was treated, why my father was being neglected, why did my father died because of infection as a result of negligence of the providers. So I came to understand eventually that it is more of stigma, because people do not really understand what dementia is. They did not know the difference between dementia and people with mental health issues. People with dementia, by symptoms, they tend to behave somehow erratically on occasions, probably due to infection, probably due to frustration, because who they were, they can't meet it again. They want to do something on their own, but they cannot really comprehend. The capacity is gone. They don't know where to go. So when people see this, because of the lack of education, because of lack of knowledge, because of lack of how to manage this particular condition, they start to treat these people with ignominy, if you want me to borrow that word, or which we call neglect. So by this, I took this upon myself that I want to dig down. I want to dig deep to see why are these people like this. So that's what made me to come up and say, okay, let Aiye life. By meaning, when I say Aiye life in the English interpretation, it's like something that touch your heart. Is this life? When somebody cannot comprehend, he cannot continue in conversation with you. He doesn't know what he is doing at part time. They have sense of touch, yes, but every other things are not there, and people are now seeing it as a mental health problem, as schizophrenia, as manic behavior. They are manic, they are this, they are that. So my own is to come up to raise this awareness against this stigmatization. And that is how Aiye Life was born. And what are we for? We are existing to reduce that stigma of complex condition in our Black African minority ethnicity communities. First of all, in Birmingham here, for public benefit, and by providing a platform to educate and raise awareness to improve their welfare, improve the welfare of these people. How do I make this how we make the difference is we improve the welfare of the Black African minority ethnicity community with complex conditions in Birmingham. That's how we want to make the difference. And going further into that is that we will increase knowledge and skills. We will develop, further broaden knowledge and expand via training, events, and educational materials.
Thank you, Founder. Thank you, Founder. We're going to delve into that when we talk about the strategies for achieving our goals. And like you said, thank you so much for telling your story and giving a background to the whole project. And you can see the passion there. So thank you so much, Mr. Lowakere. going back to the objectives, which is basically to reduce the stigma within the community, providing culturally sensitive education, both for carers and for other people within the community to be able to understand how these complex conditions impact or affect the sufferers within our community, and above all, to develop the necessary skills, the needed skills, both for the carers and for our volunteers, to be able to reach out to the affected people. Just to give you a breakdown of the project, the plan is to run this project for a 10-week period. This 10-week period will span over a period of 3 months, commencing with this inauguration today. And the key things we intend to cover within this 10-week period, the first part of it should be preparing our volunteers through a training workshop to make sure they are ready for the task ahead. We're also looking at providing culturally sensitive training on dementia caregiving, especially for the carers and for some of our volunteers who would want to go into hands-on aspect of the looking after people within this community. Thirdly, we're looking at having a fortnightly dementia cafe and the befriending services. Basically, what we're looking at here, because of the COVID-19 thing that have changed the way services are being provided. So we also want to use it to be a discussion forum. It's going to be more like a discussion forum where participants will discuss the key challenges carers and volunteers and other participants and champions are experiencing in meeting the needs of this target group. So we can bring in a panel of experts to discuss and profile solutions to the best way to work and reach out to the community. We're also looking at having a once a month carer support forum, which is going to be an online forum where, again, we're going to use it to provide both spiritual support, it could be cultural support, it could be all manner of support within what we can offer within the project for the carers to make sure they are coping. Some of them are lonely, dealing with the challenges of looking after their loved ones. And coming on such forums, they will have opportunity to chat with others, chat with people who have their interests at heart. And so we're looking at doing that once a month. So it's going to be at least 3 times within the 3 months period. And finally, we also looking at bringing a resource person on board to help in highlighting or throwing more light on the how actually this problem dementia, how it comes about. There are different types of dementia. So we're looking at bringing a resource person to come and explain how it works, how it affects people, how it develops, how people, because it's another illness that can degenerate quite quickly. Within a week or 2 weeks of having it, people can degenerate quite quickly. And it's important that family members understand this. We're also going to look at bringing in some pastors, some Christian leaders who has a community audience that suffer from this and how they look at it from their spiritual and we also look at the medical aspect of it and see how these differences can be reconciled. So this is what we're going to be looking at within this 3 months period, and over a 10-week timetable of addressing each of these issues. I'm going to look at the strategies, part of the strategies again, on how we're going to achieve this goal. So, Mr. Matthew, if that's okay, if you can carry on with where you stopped before to talk about the strategies, bearing in mind that the pandemic has made some of the original plans, have rendered most of the original plans obsolete. So if you can highlight how we intend to achieve these goals going forward until the restrictions imposed are lifted.
Thank you very much, Mr. Isevu. I appreciate your contribution. You have almost said everything I had wanted to say. However, for this at this particular time of COVID-19, majority of the people we could have been able to raise this awareness in their presence and not were unable to gather them together. But thank God for the social media. These are going to be one of the great platforms we are going to be using. We'll be raising awareness through social media, marketing.
We have a contributor. We have a contributor. If you hold your thoughts there, yeah, jump in, Morgan. Yeah.
All right, sir.
Can you unmute? Can you unmute Morgan, please? Morgan, can you unmute yourself? Yeah.
No, don't mind me. I was just reacting to what you're saying.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Carry on, Mr. Olo.
Gentlemen and ladies, I want to recognize the presence of Sarah Madeya. Thank you for coming online, even though you are late, but we still welcome you. So basically, like I was saying, what we are going to be doing now is raising this awareness through social media. We're going to be doing marketing and workshops through various projects by Aiye Life, which does include, as my Mr. Isevu has said, we are doing 3 volunteer training workshops, offering culturally sensitive training on dementia caregiving to produce the Black minority ethnicity dementia community champions. This is one of the things we want to be doing as time goes on. Not only this, when the COVID-19 and there is cut down on this lockdown, when everything is getting better, we might be doing 2 outings. That is, social trips to places such as museums, flower show, and seaside, and definitely transport will be provided. We will not be only doing this alone. We are going to organize a monthly caregiver support group. Monthly caregivers support group. This group of people, will be like going to people's house when this lockdown is over. That's what I'm saying. But at the same time, with the social media, we can get people down on the laptop and then with their phone, talking to people with dementia, their carers in their homes, doing like a video call, WhatsApp video calls, talking to these people, reassuring them, providing all this necessary support. If they need any help from anywhere, we will try to do our best to provide some of these things for them as a support, like I said. Education is key. Our Bibles do say, I don't know what the Holy Quran says. They say, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. Many of these people with dementia die the death they're supposed not to even die in the first place. Because people do not take cognizance of the behavior of these people at the initial stage. Dementia is manageable at very, very initial stage if we are able to recognize. And these are the areas we want to educate people. What is your loved one doing in your house? Is he forgetful? Has he been very forgetful? Has he been leaving things and looking for it somewhere? Has he been very aggressive because of maybe he placed something somewhere he can't really remember where it is? How do you cope with all this? This platform will provide education that will make it easy for people to understand how to manage and how to care for people with dementia in their community, even in their home. This also will lead us to quickly encouraging them or advising them to go to hospital when they are noticing all these things. Let them go to their GPs. Going to their GP, making necessary investigations or assessment, as we call it. You know, when you do the assessment, you know, oh, this person might be suffering from this. Before it aggravates, then dementia is manageable at a particular level where the people with dementia will be able at least to do activities of daily living within their setting, within their home, with the presence of their family. So these are some of the things we are intending to do, and I would suggest probably our audience will be able to, give us some contribution as we go along. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, thank you, founder. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it's the right time for our participants to feel free to contribute. To what we're talking about today, because I believe that everybody on this platform is quite passionate about this project. So we'd like to take some contributions from them. So jump in once you're ready to make any contribution, please. Yeah, while we are waiting for contributions, it's important to emphasize where the founder was talking about using technology to befriend people who are to combat loneliness, basically through befriending aspect of the Aiye Life project. That's one of the areas we want to look at the moment because of the lockdown. We will be deploying the Zoom technology, FaceTime, WhatsApp video calls, Microsoft Teams, all the possible video softwares that we can deploy at the present time to reach out for people within the community who are suffering from this, and for the carers, bearing in mind that most of the sufferers will not be able to actually make use of these technologies. We intend to use it to engage their carers as much as possible to provide them the necessary support this project is designed to provide. So please feel free to make contributions. Ask your questions as well. We're happy to take questions. And if we're not sure of the answer, obviously we're going to come back to you. This is a 10-week project, and there will be opportunities to address any issues we don't have the answer at the present time. Andrew, please, if you take a pen and write down questions as we go along, as we take contributions and questions. Yeah. If you want to talk, please, if you signal, and Andrew will unmute you. If you want to talk, just raise hands and Andrew will unmute you.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, yeah.
Hello everyone. My question is, I heard Matthew talking about how we're gonna reach these people the different people with dementia. But my question is, how are we going to find them, or how is I supposed to find all these people? What methods are they going to use to find them and bring them to social media?
Thank you so much for your questions. Mr. Matthew, do you want to take the question? Do you want to take the question, or you want me to address it? Can you unmute Matthew, please?
You can answer it, then I will add to it, please.
Okay. Basically, what we are looking at is to liaise with community leaders. There are church leaders, there are leaders in the mosque, leaders in the Hindu temples, and all that. And these people, they are very much aware of people within their small communities who need what the charity stands to provide. So we're going to be working a lot with church leaders. We're going to be working a lot with community leaders. We're going to be liaising with mosque leaders, Hindu leaders, temple people that work in the temples, where it's easy to get hold or trace the people within the community who suffer from all these conditions. We're also mindful of the care homes. There's a couple of care homes within the community as well, where you have predominantly Black and Asian service users residing. So we also intend to liaise with those homes to be able to identify the people that will need this, what the project stands to provide.
And can I just add a little bit to that, please? As we go along, these particular questions might be answered by some of the specialists we'll be inviting to come and give us talk, resource person. The next meeting, a resource person might definitely come on board who can keep some of our questions. Although we are here to enlighten people, and those are some of the areas we want to use, using resource people. In addition to what Mr. Dibusa just said, meeting with the pastors of churches, evangelists, meeting with Islamic groups, some organizations in the community, and discussing this issue, why we are doing it, and then from there we link up with their probably with their carers, who that automatically might have time to have their phone, or their children who some of them sometimes could be their carer. So we talk to them. This is the way we want to do this thing. We want to support your parents. We want to do this in this manner. Are you happy with that? Because we will not go outside, just talking to people. We will have to meet them on one-on-one. Just like you rightly said, we met with the managers of care home. This is who we are. This is what we do. Is it good for you, for us to come on board, and share our ideas with you? I think these are the little areas we are going to be seeing them. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, participants. I hope we did manage to address the question you raised. And again, some of the volunteers that we're looking at bringing on board are quite people that are grounded within the community. We're looking forward that they will be able to identify some of the people we need to work with within their respective communities. So we're happy to take more contributions and more questions. Thank you for that question. Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I can see Mr. Joe raising his hand. Would you like to say something?
Oh, yes. Just a moment. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Welcome. Greetings to everybody. This is quite an interesting discussion. If I heard you well, one of the things, one of the aims of the project is actually to raise awareness about some of these significant challenges, especially in the BME communities of complex needs. And when we talk about raising awareness, we are just sharing information. And sharing information, that means we are not only targeting already people maybe who are suffering from dementia, but we are targeting as well the able, those who are looking after, or those who know people with dementia. So raising awareness is just it's a process of sharing information, because I want to believe if we are going to say, oh, let's do a specific target victims of dementia, for example, before we even start, they would have forgotten their password. But what are we saying? We're just sharing information on how best we can include our cultural concepts even to the children or to the generation that are present today. We are talking about how can we incorporate even our culture virtually. We're talking about, with dementia, it's a complex condition whereby we are saying we can actually do virtual music. Our old people, they need their songs to be played, and they want to see these songs being played virtually, them being participants, being on the video as well, on the script, so that they become part of the script. They're also participant in the project. So things like playing their music, I am from Zimbabwe. I know they might enjoy playing drums and any other traditional instruments. So this becomes a therapeutic route in the name of virtual communication and integrating them into the communities that we are living in, because we can't be there with them physically, because obviously in a situation like today where there is social distancing, but we are using the digital platforms to reach them and to inform them. So this is a job that is complex, but we are also trying to incorporate a multi-agency approach, different agencies, professionals and non-professionals, and by bringing different agencies, that means they will have knowledge and understanding how to manage even their the people who need their services, the victims of like maybe dementia. So one of the interesting things that we have to also bring to the discussion is that we need to incorporate our traditional approaches into digital space, so that we fill in the gaps with our parents, with the victims of dementia, so that one, they receive the care, therapeutic care digitally, and also they are not left behind in the digital transition. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Dr. Joe. This is a well thought out contribution to the whole project. Thank you so much. This is something we're going to be adopting, obviously. It's something we're going to be deploying. It's something that we believe will make the difference. Something that will make the difference. Something that will be a kind of out of the box experience from the conventional approaches at the moment, because like you said, music is something that is quite therapeutic. It's not just about the modern music, but it's also taking people down taking them back to the basics, where they will be able to identify with the kind of music they used to listen to, the kind of music they can relate to. So it's something that we'll be looking at in depth, and it's something we'll be deploying, obviously. So thank you so much for that contribution, Dr. Joe. Yeah. Please, more contributions from participants.
I think there's a hand up there. Is it Pauline?
All right, Pauline, yeah. Andrew, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can now, yeah.
All right. My question is, how long is this project is going to last? And the second one is this a continuous project for any family you are rendering service to? Is this a continuous to the end of life? Thank you.
All right. Mr. Matthew, do you mind taking the question, please? Yeah.
Thank you very much, Pauline. I want to say it's a continuous project. And why? Because we cannot just do this and stop there. Because stigmatization is like a continuous process. Except we are able, with the support of the community, with the support of, the professionals, then it's going to be there. If it's not, it's like you have an infectious disease going about, and there is no vaccine. Until we're able to get the vaccine, we might not be able to win the war against infectious diseases. It's the same thing with issue with stigmatization. Stigmatization is worse than even infectious diseases. So it's like it's gonna be a continuous process before we'll be able to, at least to a certain percentage level to reduce the stigma. And that's the purpose of this raising awareness continually. I think from the audience as well, if you have some other contribution to answer this question, the project is continuous, and with the brain behind this project, I believe we should be able to, to do it on a continuous basis. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lorkere, and thank you, Pauline, for your question. Just to throw a little bit of light, as you know, resources are not inexhaustible. We have limited resources. Just as much as we want this project to be an ongoing project, resources obviously will be a challenge in continuing with this project. We believe that our funders will see the need to continue to support this project. And we also thinking of other strategies to expand fundraising to be able to sustain this project to be an ongoing project. So all things being equal, the founders' aim and objective is to continue with this project until the difference which he intended to make, the impact which he planned to make within the community is achieved. But bearing in mind that resources are not inexhaustible, the project will do its best to be an ongoing project. Thank you so much. Contributors, feel free to add to what we've said so far. Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I can see Liza raising her hand. Would she like to say something? Could you please unmute yourself, Liza?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, we can.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I just want to answer that question. Like you are doing a good project, and when there is need, funders will follow you. Because in this day, I work in hospital. I'll give you an example. People are not allowed visitors to visit them. We are using technology for our patients to be able to speak with their families in order to allow them to see their families. So that's why I'm so passionate about your project as well. Because like now, the older people in care homes, it can take 6 months or 9 months before they're allowed to see their families. So members of staff could be using Zoom to support these elderly people with dementia to see their families. So I think with this project, there is a big need, and you will continue to get more funders, because the funders will see that you are bringing people together. You are removing isolation. You are standing in that gap using technology. And that is the only way forward that we need to use and improve upon it. So that's my contribution. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That's a wonderful point to make. If you've been in the environment at the moment, hospital settings, care home settings, most of the majority of the care settings, you find out that visits are restricted, and one of the ways that our service users have managed to keep in contact with their loved ones is through this technology, which has evolved as a result of this pandemic. So they were able to make FaceTime video calls, WhatsApp video calls, Zoom video calls, the Google Meet video calls, and all that. And that kind of has been bridging that gap between that isolation where they cannot have that physical contact or face-to-face contact with their family members. So thank you so much for your contribution. Yeah.
Okay. I can see Joe raising his hand again. Please.
Oh, thank you.
More people to
yeah, but sorry to come back again because I'm getting excited with the project. One of the things that obviously we need to consider, we are learning that there's a possibility, not a possibility, the identity of the problem itself, the issue of complex needs, including dementia in African communities, it's something that will stay. It's a problem that we can be solving as long as it exists. So in that nature, the very identity of the problem facilitates its sustainability. As long as there is a problem, the problem becomes self-sustaining. The problem becomes self-sustaining in many ways and in many forms. First of all, we can talk about the grant funding and application. One of the things that we need to understand is that we can grow the organization not according to when the fund is finished, but also we can grow it organically on its own. On the website, we are going to maybe include a donate button whereby anyone in the world can actually pull resources to the organization, and also opportunity for grant application. Now, at a time like this, we can also go further to apply for further funding. Why? Apart from raising awareness, there are contemporary urgent issues that also need to be addressed. These are the things like in a wartime situation, everyone can't do without food, can't do without the PPE that they're talking about. So we can have a specific kind of a grant as well, even from a local council, to be distributing food, African food, jollof, to some of the victims of not victims, those sufferers of dementia and things like that. So it's a wholesale approach whereby the resources are unlimited as long as we remain consistent, which we are already, and in terms of evaluating where are we, what do we have, where are we gonna go, you see, so that we can scale up. Every project has got a potential of scaling up in different forms. We can take it even in schools, even this recording right now. We can reproduce it in schools, in colleges, in universities, so that they build awareness about the existence of dementia in African communities and what are the needs of our people. Because our needs, at the end of the day, they are not known. Why? Because we were told that dementia is some kind of you're a victim of sorcery, of witchcraft, and things like that. So in demystifying these processes, we can't do that by keeping quiet. So we need wider platforms to be able to engage, of which there is funding that can be accessed to be able to sell the issue to the wider audience as a wholesale company. So the problem itself, it's not restricted to the local council. It's not going to be restricted to your house. It's not going to be limited to your country. It's a worldwide, a global phenomenon. As far as someone mentioned that, as far as we are fighting to get the treatment for COVID-19, it's also the same with dementia in African communities. We also need enough funding from the WHO to be able to deal with these issues. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Joe. Another wonderful contribution there. Thank you so much. Yeah. Any further questions or contributions, please, before the founder give us a a goodwill message because we're targeting to round up at 5 o'clock.
Hi, Andy.
Hello?
We've got two people with raising their hands up. Can we?
All right, please,
like
yeah, let them in, please.
Yeah. Sharon, please. Hello, Sharon. Can you hear us?
Oh, she's gone. Sharon.
Can you let the next person in, Andrew? Yeah, while Sharon is getting ready.
Okay. We have Mr. Barbara over here. Can you unmute yourself?
Okay, it's Norman. One of the contributors talked about end of life, and it's basically that aspect I wanted to talk about. Now, dementia is a progressive disease, and it is mainly dependent on the cognitive function that we can work out a plan of how to deal with it. In other words, we are looking at dealing with dementia and caring, and for people that are carers, but we're looking at these people who are looking at somebody who may be in a different stage or in different stages of dementia. In other words, how we take care of somebody who has just developed dementia now is different to how we take care of somebody who has had dementia for 2 years or somebody who has had dementia for 5 years. So that in our planning, we need to factor these things in. I'm mentioning this because somebody talked about end of life. When it comes to end of life, obviously, we will need to have a look at the person, where he is now, what is the stage of cognitive function that he has now, and therefore develop a kind of plan that will work with that person now, but that plan will need to change as cognitive function slowly weathers down. And so, to go back to what the founder said, this is a long-term project. It will have different stages, which will be tailored to the cognitive function of the patient that we're dealing with. And therefore, we will inform the carer of this person what are the strategies that are best suited for that individual at the time. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Bebe. That's another great insight into what we're discussing about today. And obviously, this is what the founder will be taking on board and work with his strategists to make sure that that is incorporated in our ongoing awareness program and information sharing. And they also prepare our volunteers so that they will recognize the different stages involved in every dementia situation that comes up. Yeah. Any further contributions? And if there is none, please, I would like to call on Mr. Matthew to give us a goodwill message, and we can round up, please. Yeah.
So I don't know if Sharon is ready, or we can move on to aims and objective. I think that would be.
We have dealt with that. It's just for him to give a goodwill message, and we can.
I'll just have people raising their hand to contribute.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We are mindful of the 5 o'clock time, though.
Yeah. Okay. Just noticed. You know, it might go without me talking. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome, guys. Thank you, and just want to greet everyone here, and very inspiring and interesting. Your stories very very touchy. Yes. Also, I just wanted to contribute on the issues that maybe let's think of it as, for now, yeah, we are just raising awareness. So let's focus on that raising awareness. We're not yet touching, we're not yet dealing with clients yet. So at the moment, it's the stages. I think it's raising awareness. Then I think maybe people might want to know, after you've raised awareness, then what else will happen while we're raising awareness. But at the moment, I think the project stage is on raising awareness. And just wanted also to share with those people those who are listening, being from Dream Blazers Academy, just wanted to say, I think these are the examples of projects we are talking about where we are solving our own issues. If we don't talk about these issues in our communities, none of the other communities will ever come and help us and or talk about our issues. So it's up to us to talk about these issues, how they are affecting us as Africans. And if we don't have platforms like this, none of these problems will go away just because we want them to go away. So just a contributing, and say thank you guys, thank you for having such a platform, and it's a pleasure being invited as well. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Morgan. As always, we are cherished and we appreciate your effort in making this project a reality. Founder, please, goodwill remark, please. Yeah. Can you unmute Mr. Matthew, please? We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Yeah. Andrew, can you unmute him, please? Can you unmute him, please, Andrew? Thank you, Chair.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Isefu.
Thank you, sir.
And I want to specifically thank the Dream Blazer people here, Mr. Morgan, Dr. Joe, and I want to specifically thank Mr. and Mrs. Bebe, Norma, and Pauline, and Lisa. I thank you all for your contributions. We are not ending it this way. It's going to be continuous. It's going to be continuous, even where I have another funding. Thank you very much, Lisa, for that particular contribution. You see, it was very touchy that you were speaking where I am coming from. I have been there. I have seen it. Even as an agency nurse in the past, these things are so difficult, particularly this COVID-19. Nobody is allowed to come in. So we were like the alpha and omega. The risk was enormous for the people with dementia who doesn't know nothing, who is going about everywhere. And it is this particular COVID-19 is through touching, through sneezing, through coughing, and you have to walk about. I want to give kudos to somebody who was talking about the PPE as well, which is a very paramount thing. A lot was happening that we saw. Apart from the one that is affecting the majority of the Black minority, a lot of social media report about some of us, contacting these diseases, and some of us dying, because of who we are concentrating upon as nurses, as mental health nurses, as carers, But with this awareness, the people that matters will go into our YouTube, they go to our online everything, they go to our website and see what we are saying. I think this will give them a light, through this awareness. This is an awareness forum. I really thank everybody this evening. I appreciate you. I thank you. And the next meeting will be communicated to you as soon as we are ready. Thank you very, very much, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Founder. At this juncture, I'll have the privilege to bring the inaugural launch of this project to an end. Thank you, participants, for your time. Thank you for coming on board. Thank you for your contributions. I'm Mr. Ndubisi Echefu, signing off. Thank you.